Hello, you are welcome to Raw Apparel's online sewing class. In today's episode, we are going to look at the various parts or measurements that we need to take in sewing a top, a skirt, or a dress. The first part I would like to tackle is the bust. Before you take a client's bust measurement, it is advisable that you make sure that the client is wearing a good bra that will make the boob stand, not fall. So after making sure that the breast is in the right position, you take the measurement around the widest part of the body, the place that is protruding. So you don't take the measurement above the breast or below the breast. You take it around the place that is protruding. And then from the bust comes the under bust or the empire. You take the empire because there are some star lines that requires us to know our empire line. And then from the empire or the underbust comes the waist. You can find the waist right beneath our rib cage or 1 inch above our navel. Our true waist is not on our navel. Our true waist is not located on our navel. If you want to know where your true waist point is, it is above the navel. Or if you are finding it very difficult to locate where the true waist is, you can take a tape measure or a rope and then tie it around the person's waist. Wherever the rope falls after tying is the person's true waist measurement. So you can keep it this way whilst you take the necessary measurement. Then from the waist is the hip. The hip is the widest part of our body, the widest part of this side. So if you want to take the hip measurement, make sure that you are taking it around the place that protrudes. Around the place that protrudes. So this part is our hip. So when you take it, you record. And then we have hip depth. Hip depth is the distance between our true waist and then where our widest hip is located. It is very necessary to record this measurement because we don't have a fixed measurement for it. There are some clients that has hip depth measurement as high as 7 inches, and there are others that has as low as 12 inches. You can realize that you see some people in town and then their hip is around the thigh area, their widest hip is around the thigh area. So if you guess for such person, when she comes to fit her dress, you realize that this side will be too tight. That is why I always tell my students to take the waist and hip depth measurements for each and every client. So from there comes the across chest. Across chest is 1 point, from 1 point of the armpit area here to the other point is the across chest. And then we also have across back. So across back too is the same thing. That point at the back, the armhole point at the back to the other one. Then you record. And then there is shoulder to shoulder. So shoulder to shoulder, there's this small ball here. So that's where the shoulder to shoulder is. So you record the shoulder to shoulder from 1 point of the shoulder to the other point of the shoulder. And then we have shoulder length. So shoulder length is from where the ball point is to your highest, where your highest shoulder point is. So from this side to this side is your shoulder length. And then you can record dress length. For dress length, we have various. So for dress length, I always tell my students that you have to take the various length that the client prefers. So whilst taking the dress length, you can ask the client where he or she likes his shortest dress. So when the person indicates where the shortest dress length is, you take it from the highest point of the shoulder to where the person prefers the shortest dress. Then you take midi, then to floor length. For blouse too, you take it at that same point from that side to wherever the person prefers where her blouse should be. And then we have skirt length. So for skirt length too, you take it from the true waist to where the person prefers her shorter skirt, then you graduate to midi and then floor length. So for those the length, you take about 3 or 4 lengths. And then we have sleeve length. So for sleeve length, we are going to take short sleeve, elbow, 3/4, and then long sleeve and record. The reason why I want you to record all these measurements when your client comes is that the first time the person comes to you, you have to record all this so that in case the person doesn't come and then calls for an outfit, you can refer to those measurements and sew whatever outfits you have to sew for the person. So wherever you took the short length of the sleeve, you take the around arm measurement from there. Then wherever you took the next one, take the around arm measurement. So you get to the long sleeve measurement. And then we have waist to knee measurement. The waist to knee is where the highest point of your waist is to where your knee begins. It helps us to shape our fitted and panel dresses. So now I'm going to call somebody, then you see how I take my measurements. So we put this away. So let's say this is our client. So she comes in, she walks in for the first time to sew, and we are coming to take all her basic measurements. It's quite lengthy, but it's the best. When you use this, you will find less fault in sewing. So this is our client. Since I'm going to take her bust measurement first, I'll make sure that the bra that she's wearing is not too loose. It has to be tight enough. And then her boobs has to stand, not fall. Then you take the tape measure around her body and then place it on her widest part, on the widest part of her bust. So I won't place her bust measurement here. This is 37. I'll place it on the place that is protruding. It's 38. So for this client, her bust is 38. Then when you are taking the measurements, because we want ease in it, you put one of your finger inside. So you don't do it this way. This will be too tight. We need an ease. So you put one finger inside to create the ease. So this is her bust measurement. Then quickly I come to her under bust or empire. So that one to the same thing. I put one finger in it. 31. Then I record. Then I come to her waist. If I can't record her waist, I'll just tie one tape measure around her waist. So wherever the tape measure falls, that will be her true waist measurement. But since I've been doing this for longer, I can easily record her waist measurement. Or you can simply place your finger here where you realize that it's fleshy and then enters into the rib cage. That is where the true waist measurement is. Or an inch above the waist measurement. An inch above the navel is where the true waist measurement can be located. So her waist is 31. Then I record. Then you can see that her hip is not around this side. This is where her widest hip is. So I'll place my tape measure around it, her body. And then as I bring the tape measure down, I loosen it a bit. So this is 46.5. I take it again. Since I want to know her waist measurement, so I bring it down. And then, so you can't move the tape measure again. So hers is 46.5. Then you record. Then we have to record the hip depth. The hip depth, I said earlier, is the distance between the true waist to where the widest hip is. So I place the tape measure like this, and then locate where her widest hip is. So her hip depth is 11. There are other clients that are 8, there are others that are 9. So if I should do it 7 for her, it won't work for her. That is why I'm saying you have to take her hip depth measurement for every client. So this is hip depth. Then I come to across chest. So across chest is from one point this side to this side. Hers is 13. Then I go to across back. Across back is from this point to this point. So hers is 14 and a half. Then for shoulder to shoulder is from this point where the ball is to the other part of the ball, 16. Then that one too you record. Then we come to shoulder to empire. For shoulder to empire, I won't place the tape measure here. I have to place it at the highest point of the shoulder. So this is her highest point. Then straight down to her empire. So hers is 14. Then I go to shoulder to waist. Her shoulder to waist is 16 and a half. I won't place the tape measure like this to get 18. After sewing, you realize that it will drop. So don't curve the tape measure to get the shoulder to waist like the empire. You just place it here and then go straight to the true waist. So hers is 16 and a half. It's 1 inch above the navel. So 16 and a half. Then I take shoulder to nipple. So same place. Then I know her nipple is located around this place. So hers is 11. Then you record. Then you also record from one point, nipple to nipple measurement. The nipple to nipple measurement is used in sewing darts. That is why we take the nipple to nipple measurement. Now I come to blouse length or top length. So I'm going to ask her the length that she prefers. There are some clients that prefer short tops. So you ask and then the client will tell you. So if it's crop top, maybe it's around 17 for normal peplum tops. If it is too long, it's not nice. So hers will be 22. Her normal peplum top length is 22. Then I come to dress length. Now for dress length, you have to ask your client where she wears her shortest dress first. Where do you wear your shortest dress? So here. So please stand upright. Make sure the client is standing upright. Here, right? So this is her shortest skirt length is 35. Then I move to beneath the knee, 42. Then I go to midi, 47. Then floor length, 63. And you record. So you are going to record the 35, the 42, the 47, and 63 as her various dress length. Then we come to skirt. For skirt, we are going to place the tape measure on the true waist measurement waistline again. Then you ask shortest skirt, so 19. Beneath the knee is 26. Midi is 31. Floor length is 43. Then you record that one too. Then we come to sleeve length. For sleeve, she has to curve her elbow a little. Then we take the sleeve length. So I'll put it at where we took the shoulder to shoulder. Then take it around this way. So her sleeve length is 25. If you do it this way, 22. After sewing the sleeve length for her, it will be shorter. That is why it is always advisable for the client to bend the hand a little. If she bends too much, the sleeve is going to be longer, so slightly. Then you take your measurements. So you are going to take short, elbow, 3/4, and then long. Now at where you took the short length, just wrap the sleeve around it like how we took our bust measurement. Put one finger in it for ease. So this is 13 and a half. Then I come here 11, 10 and a half. And then for this side, you won't make it tight. You make it a little bit loose so that the fingers and palm can enter into the sleeve hole. So this is 9. Then you record. Then you record waist to knee. The waist to knee is also important because it helps us to shape our fitted skirts and then our panel long dresses or skirts. So I place my tape measure on the true waistline again, and then where the knee begins, you record it. So hers is 22. There are some people that has 23, 24. That means the person is very tall. We have 18, we have 17. So this is how you take measurements for a client. Thank you. What about those of us sewing for our own self? I take my own personal body measurements. So if I want to sew for myself, I just stand straight, make sure I'm wearing a good bra, then pass the tape measure around my body, then to the widest parts of mine. So mine is 34, my bust is 34. I don't do it too tight. It has to be loose, but then make sure it's located on the part that protrudes. So mine is 34. Then I still stand straight and then locate my empire measurement. So mine is 29.5. Then I come to my waist. I know my waist, my true waist is located right under my rib cage, or 1 inch above my navel. So with that in mind, I just pass my tape measure around here, and then above my, putting one finger in for ease. So my waist is 30. Then I come to my hip. My hip is the widest part of my body. So I do the same thing and then go down. If it is too tight, you release. So my hip is 40.25. Then I record. Then for my hip depth, I don't bend when I'm taking the hip depth. So I put my tape measure on my my true waist, and then to where my hip protrudes, then I mark. Mine is 9. Then you mark. Across chest, I just place from here to here. I have 13, but I can't take my across back measurement. So there's a rule that says that for every normal human being, across back is bigger than across chest 1 inch. So whatever measurement I have for my across chest, I just add 1 inch to it for my across back. Then for the across back too, I'll add 1 inch to it for my shoulder to shoulder for a normal figure. But if the person is not normal, some people have wider shoulders and all that, so that is different. But I'm a normal figure, so the 13 that I take for my front, I add 1 inch to it for my across back, since I can't take my back measurement, and then another 1 inch for my shoulder to shoulder. Now let's come to shoulder to empire. I place the tape measure on the highest point of my neck. I place this finger here and then pass. Still standing, I don't bend to watch. So wherever I know that my tape measure, when the tape measure gets under my bust, I just bring it out and then record. So this is 12.5, then I record. But for shoulder to waist, I don't do the same thing. I just pass it here and then locate my waist, then to this point, pick it up. So 16.5, then you record. Then we have dress length. So if I want to sew a dress for myself, if you bend, it will make the dress shorter. So this is what I do. I place it here, I pass it through here, and then I do this. So since I have this, I know the rest. Since I'm standing straight, I know the rest will be. So if I want a 35, I have the 35. I'm doing that again. So you place it here, you keep your hand here. Don't bend whilst taking it. It will make the dress very short. So you stand this way and then pass it through this way. And then wherever you want the length, you can have it from here. So you don't bend your upper part of the body. For skirt length, I do same. So I want a midi skirt. I pause here. I make sure my legs are straight, and then locate wherever I want to put my skirt. If it is long, I do the same thing. And then for sleeve length, I just place the tape on my shoulder. So if it is short, I know where it will be. If I want long, I'll just slightly bend this way and then locate my sleeve length. That is 22. I take my around arm. If it is short sleeve, so I take it this way and then putting one finger in the tape measure, you locate your around arm. So here is 12, here is lesser than that, here is 11, and then here is 10, then here is 9. This place you make it a little bit loose so that your palm or fingers can pass through. If you make it very tight this way, you can't wear your sleeve. So I think with this information we'll be able to to take our own measurements and then take measurements for other clients too as well. So this is the end of today's episode. Kindly subscribe to our channels to see more of our videos and then give us a thumbs up. Don't forget, I am Real Apparels. You can also contact me on Facebook and Instagram. I'll see you in our next video. Bye.